Hi, this is Rachel Pontillo from holisticallyhope.com, and I wanted to take this opportunity to welcome you to this edition of Spiritual Skincare Sundays. If you're new to Spiritual Skincare Sundays, this is an offering that I have every Sunday on holisticallyhope.com as well as on Facebook in a private discussion group called Spiritual Skincare Sundays. And what we talk about in Spiritual Skincare Sundays is the skin, care of the skin, and care of the self in the context of spirituality. To do before I create any skincare product. I also do this when I'm cooking dinner, or before I give myself a facial, or before I get my space ready to meet with a client, is I like to set up what I refer to as my sacred skincare space. You can just call it a sacred space, or if for you just setting the ambiance or setting the energy works better for you, that's fine. But I like to call it a sacred skincare space because to me, skincare and the concept and different ideas of the skin itself and what it does for us is a very spiritual thing. And I feel that skincare is a way that we connect both to Earth as well as to the healing energies of the universe. And the reason is because when you take ingredients from nature, whether it is healing plant oils or essential oils, herbs, different other types of botanical extracts or ingredients or butters or waxes, anything that comes from nature, and you mix it together in a synergistic blend, when that happens, you are creating something new. You're creating a new whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. So there's a little bit of magic that happens, as well as the cosmetic chemistry that occurs. You can look at it from a very scientific perspective. These molecules mix with these molecules and amplify the effects of these molecules. But you can also say, well, a lot went into this particular blend and these ingredients, and there might have been some sort of intuition guidance that helped us to choose these different blends, the order that we add them, how many drops or what quantities of each one go together, how we stirred it together, what type of energy we are infusing into that product. Are we in a space of kindness and nourishment and love, or are we a little bit stressed out and we're rushing and we're frustrated? All of that energy, whether it's positive or negative or neutral, or if you're just looking at it as weighing scientific measures and mixing them together in a solution, whatever way you approach it, that is what is going into that end product, and that goes into the end user's experience of using that product. And everyone that I know who uses skincare products does it because they want to improve the appearance and sometimes the health of their skin, but they also want to improve how they feel about themselves. So those are very spiritual reasons that don't have a lot of chemistry to do with them. So I think it's so important to set the sacred space, the sacred skincare space, before we even begin, so that we have the best chance of that end experience being positive, nourishing, healing, and anything that we would want it to be when we ourselves go to use a skincare product. So there are a lot of different ways to create sacred space. We all have our own definitions of what that means. So what I want to do is just share with you, for me, what that means. I have kind of another studio upstairs that is attached to my kitchen that I use when I have to heat products because it's close to my stove. And in both my spaces, I always like to have some of the different elements represented. So right now I have some incense going here. That is both fire and air. I also have some wheat sheaves here. I have some gemstones. And I also have another candle here. So we have both earth and fire represented. And then you can't see it in this frame, but I do have my altar space, which is a little further down this shelf, where I have some flower essences and other essential oils, which to me would represent water. I also have some more plants. I have some plants over here. I have a little plant behind me and more stones. So we have representation of water, air, fire, and earth. And I also want to bring in the fact that I believe, and my younger daughter believes, that this also has the element of spirit, which is the fifth element. And I'm pointing that out in the incense. And the reason I say that is because my younger daughter, who is 8 years old right now, the first time I showed her incense, she was watching the smoke. And she said, "Mommy, it looks like that spirit's dancing." And I just think that is so beautiful, and it makes me happy, and it calms me down. Just that thought itself is so positive. So I consider that bringing in the element of spirit into my space. So whether you want to work with gemstones and candles and incense, that's totally up to you. Some people prefer to diffuse essential oils. Some people like to have some herbal tea that they're sipping on as they make their products. In my course, Create Your Skincare, you'll notice that I do have a cup of tea on my table almost all the time when I'm making products. So that's something I like to do also. But there are other people who are just fine with a clean space, some music they enjoy playing in the background that they consider to be positive and relaxing, and that works for them. So whatever sacred space means for you, I encourage you to set it when you're making products. If you're in a spa and you're an esthetician or you're a health coach who's about to get started with a client, I suggest you do whatever you need to do to your space so that when you're mixing up your magic, you infuse all of the healing energies from the universe into those products, into your work, so that when you apply it to your client's skin or to your own skin, if you're working on yourself, or if you're about to have a session with a client, you are in the best place you can be physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And that makes all the difference for their experience. So I would love to know, what do you consider sacred skincare space? What do you do to create your sacred space? I invite you to tell me in the comments below. Also, come on over to Facebook at Spiritual Skincare Sundays. It is a private group, and I have discussion prompts there every week. So I hope to see you again for Spiritual Skincare Sundays on holisticallyhope.com. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this video if you liked it. Have a great Sunday.